You guys remember the last RTA video that we did, right? The video where everyone was super fast and running speed cleave teams. Well, this video is the exact opposite. Today, we're taking a look at two different players that are perfectly content being slow and taking turn 2. One of them loves to use the wind sniper, and the other one loves to use the fire striker, among other things. There's some interesting units that you're going to see here today that we don't usually see, but let's get it started. First player, like I said, is using the wind sniper, I would say in about half their matches. So another thing that's pretty popular this season is the fire slayer. So he's bringing out 2 HP leader skills. Fire slayer does the attack age pushback slow. The units that he has probably have a decent amount of resist. And another thing that's important is if you're going to be taking turn 2, will runes. Don't just go in there with no will runes, right? Will runes are important, right? So he got no strips on 2 of these units. They probably have some decent resistance, and they also have 2 HP leader skills that they brought in there, right? So it goes in for the nuke. Molong and the Fire Slayer are both pretty popular this season. Number 1, they have HP leader skills, and they're also bruiser units. Fire Slayer is actually not too bad. I wish his activation rate was a little bit higher. So they went in and won this. Again, took turn 2. They countered this team. Will runes counter, right? Will runes were a big part of it. But we didn't really get to see too much of the wind sniper. Let's see some more. Next match starts the draft with the light unicorn. Not everyone has a light unicorn. Of course, light unicorn, Fire Slayer for the 44% HP leader skill. Veramos, another leader skill. Bans out the light unicorn, so she doesn't even make it into the draft at all. Nephthys is going to be a problem there, right? So he's got the strip. He's got all those debuffs. However, Veramos on... And he's resisted the strip again with this Fire Slayer, right? So does not quite kill with that skill 2. Then Veramos cuts in with his new passive, increases attack age, right? Per debuff. So new passive is coming in pretty nice. Gets the silence on the Fire Slayer, which is nice because otherwise he would have done the CC. He would have done his skill 3 CC. Does not glance on with the double hits on the wind sniper. Trying to do all the damage in there. Does not get the skill 3. Okay, so sniper is down. He's got to beat this team with Veramos, Molly, and a Fire Slayer. It's not looking good right now. But the Fire Slayer, let's see how much the Fire Slayer actually gets done. Remember that Molly passive is kind of a counter to the Nephthys. Nephthys is countered by glancing hits, right? Otherwise, she's just gonna go crazy. So let's see. She gets an additional turn. There's no sustain other than the vertical skill 1 on that opponent's team, the Nephthys team. So AoE skill 3 does get a few harmful effects. Gets the stun, gets the slow, and now one of the nice things about this is he can keep decreasing the attack age, or actually absorbing the attack age with the Fire Slayer. So he's got CC, he's got stuns, slows, attack age decrease, and also provokes, right? So now he's just going to keep stealing turns from the Nephthys unless Vertiheal came in there and countered. Again, we didn't see too much of the wind sniper, but the opponent tried to take him out early, right? You saw that they were actually targeting that unit, and he wasn't getting his passive as much as he could, because, some of the units were fire units. Next match, we're not really seeing too much. We saw a little bit of the wind sniper. We're really not seeing too much of where he shines just yet. They brought the water striker. He's fantastic against the water striker. Apparently they have a Vivichel too, which they haven't even used until now. They've been picking the wind sniper more than Vivichel. But this unit is actually fantastic against double AoE units, right? He's got the Xiongpung, and he's got the Moor as well. Fantastic unit against both of those. Steals a turn, right? Because his passive, he increases his attack bar when he's glanced on, right? So he got glanced on. He attacked the Savannah, dismounted her, and now as soon he's got another attack bar, completely destroys Savannah. 3 AoE units. There's really nothing they can do. They have to basically ignore the wind sniper, which they can't do because they have AoEs, right? So they have to either not use their AoE skills or ignore the wind sniper. So this is actually a fantastic place that we're seeing the wind sniper being used. And there's not too much they can do. He stole another turn. He completely just one-shotted the Xiongpung. This is a fantastic place that we're actually seeing this wind sniper completely obliterate the enemy. Let's see some more of what we saw in the last match in these next matches. Okay, so he's picking fairly similar stuff to before. He's got 2 HP leader skills. Keep in mind, 2 HP leader skills. Resistance, if you're taking turn 2, resistance is another good leader skill. That is not... Well, first off, Molong got nothing, right? Molong stripped nothing. But that is not the turn order I was expecting. I was expecting Moore to go first. So we're talking about slow teams. And I see this Molong outspeeding a Moore, which is not quite what I would consider a slow team, but decrease the attack gauge on the Rika, gets an additional turn, tries to stun and strip things, did not stun and strip things, gets some more attack gauge reduction and slows on the Rika with that, and they just concede here. They just concede. They both have sustain, but they, I guess, just felt like they were not in a good spot, so they just conceded. Next match, going in with fairly similar picks to what he was before. Enemy picks out a Molong from him, so he picks out the Fire Monkey. Bans out the Wind Sniper. It's not really specifically a Wind Sniper video, so we're going to continue taking a look at some of these matches, because it's more of a I want to show turn 2 stuff, right? Because everyone's so excited about, like, let's go fast, let's, fast control, you got to be first, get first turn. Some people are able to successfully have turn 2 teams. We want to see a little bit more of what they're doing so that other people that don't quite have 7,000 speed units can, learn from these things, right? So tried to steal the revenge, did not steal the revenge. Going for another Ghost Slash, trying to get those defense breaks, didn't get the defense break. Did his skill 1, right? Took out the Xiongpeng. So he is still, now he's probably going to cocky that Monkey, and then Monkey survives. So Monkey had enough to take that down. Going to decrease attack bar and stun with the Fire Slayer. So Fire Slayer has been doing pretty good, even against these water units. So right now, there's not really enough to stack the Bulwark too much. And he's kind of playing with that light unicorn. He's kind of playing around the Bulwark, like not even changing into human form or anything. He's like, I'm just gonna leave it like it is, and then just try to keep controlling things with the Fire Slayer. Next battle, he's going up against the Cleave team. Picks again the 2 HP leader skills, right? The Molong and the Fire Slayer. He's still got the Molly in there, right? So he's going to get Lucianed, and he's going to get double cockeyed. He's not quite going to get double cockeyed, right? So increases the attack gauge of the water, the Abellio, the water druid, which you really don't see Abellio getting picked too much, but Abellio does have some areas where he's actually useful, right? He's going to go forward, killing the Lucian now. Gets his skill 2 on Lucian. I'm surprised actually that he picked the Tessarion in this comp. Yeah, I'm surprised that he picked the Tessarion in this comp. And the reason that he banned the Bastard, he just wanted to make sure that he didn't, like, the enemy didn't get the attack power buff, right? The enemy's still going to get buffs either way, but he's like, you know what, I'll take the RNG. Draco may or may not do an attack power buff. Bastard's definitely going to do an attack power buff. He's definitely going to have some hard times there. So the Abellio, every time they do a decent amount of damage, but not really quite kill things, Abellio increases attack gauge with his passive. So gets the Oblivion, which is going to nerf the Water Cocky's attack power based on the Water Cocky's passive, stacking his attack power whenever the enemy gets extra turns. Same first 2 picks. I mean, this doesn't really help everyone for him picking the light unicorn as one of his first picks. Bans the Wind Sniper again. He's that scared of this Wind Sniper because again he has the Xiongpeng and he has the Water Ryu. So that's why he's banning the Wind Sniper. He doesn't want these things to come in and that to steal turn and start sniping things with his attack power buff because you really don't need a defense break as long as you crit on that, right? And then as soon as he gets into his stance, that's an increased chance of getting glanced on, right? So, and Abellio again. So we're seeing these nice turn 2 things that like increase chance of landing a glancing hit on them, like for example the Molly and the light unicorn. Again, not too many things have light unicorn. The water druid that steals turns, things that increase glancing hit chances, mitigate damage, and steal turns. That's kind of what we're seeing. And then double HP leader skills. So those are some takeaways from this. Not necessarily that everyone's got the light unicorn, everyone could use a light unicorn, but those are some takeaways from what you guys can learn from this. Like, okay, HP leader skills, some kind of passives that mitigate damage or increase chances of landing a glancing hit, or increase attack bar so you can cut in. Like, same thing with Vertiheal as well. Vertiheal's been less strong this season because of the Triple Revenge Vertiheal is weak to the Fire Art Master. Fire Art Master can just seal him in a scroll and then strip everything without having to worry about the Triple Revenge. But that's why people are using like Double Revenge Will or Nemesis Vertiheals or things like that. Also, people are using Nemesis on some units to counter, like Double Nemesis Will on some units to counter the Fire Art Master, just in general. Not necessarily like it's Vertiheal, but just Double Nemesis Will is a thing that some people are using now. This match, Molong first pick into doesn't even pick a light unicorn at all, doesn't pick a wind sniper at all. The opponent's going for, they pick 2 fire units, right? So that's one of the reasons. But a very fast, very aggressive comp. Bans the Abelio and bans the light Chun-Li. So he's going for, on his side, he's going for the Molong and the Dark Sylphid 2-shot combo, right? Does not quite kill everything with those two, the 2 big damage units. And then that's game. They just concede at this point because he didn't kill everything between the HP leader skill and the Molly passive. He didn't quite kill everything, and he comes back with the Fire Slayer and CCs everything. So he had enough time after that to go in and kill things and heal the team back up. And there was really nothing that nothing that his opponent could do if he didn't 2-shot the team. First few picks fairly standard. His opponent apparently loves these Beast Riders though. Bans out the Fire Art Master, bans out the Rika. Usually you see the Fire Art Master picked first round and not the Savannah. 3 Beast Riders that Leo would have been a fantastic counter to those. He bans out the Fire Art Master though. Fire Art Master was going to do a lot of, Fire Art Master was going to first off strip, and he's all on will runes, right? So he does still have, the enemy did still have strips with both Savannah and Barbara, but at least the Fire Art Master was a big combo unit with both of those, right? He has attack power buff, which was going to be great for like the whole team, the Beast Riders and the CR. Everything's attack power buff. Speed buff is going to help the Beast Riders do more damage as well. So he banned, and also the strip, right? So that was really the thing that was going to hold the whole team together. And I would have figured that he would have picked that Fire Art Master first. But yeah, there we go. He did come in and counter, again, will runes, strong, right? HP leader skill, strong. And he comes in and he, of course, the enemy didn't get the strips with, he only had 2 single target strips with the Savannah and the Barbara. And then he comes in, he CCs everything. And then he brought the Tessarion in. I'm surprised to see the Tessarion pick, but he brought the Tessarion in this way. He could just deal with the Beast Riders without them being dismounted, just kill them, just one-shot them, right? And if he felt like he needed to use the Resistance Leader skill, he still does have the Resistance Leader skill as well. Another very fast, very aggressive team, a lot of turn cycling. They're going to get turn 1, they're probably going to get turn 1 with that Mina first, I would imagine, right? Mina's got element advantage over multiple of those units. Goes for the Masha, even though there's nothing, right? He could have gone for the Masha skill too on the Molly. Molly's passive is actually coming in quite handy. The Dark Sylphid just one-shots the, usually not too much HP on those, I was going to say Kit Kats, not Kit Kats. Marshall Cats, not Kit Kats. Kit Kat bars. Comes in with some more CC, some more dots, and slows, which are actually pretty nice against the crazy turn cycling from the enemy team. Also, since the Masha does speed-based damage, the slows are actually pretty nice over there. So just comes in with enough HP, and the Molly passive did come in handy as well. I feel like at this point we're only seeing this guy's matches. Let's take a look at the next guy's matches next. That's usually how that works. 2 HP leader skills, and both the Molly and Abelio for sustain bans the Lucian out, right? So there's no ignore defense. So they're going to be doing slow damage. They didn't get the defense breaks either with Draco's skill 2. I wonder how much accuracy. Usually people not too worried about the accuracy on Draco, but if you're going to use Draco like that, he does need to have some decent accuracy for skill 2. That's the only thing that he really needs accuracy for. But they didn't get those defense breaks, right? Which would have been nice. So the thing here is they had multiple HP leader skills, and then they had either the Molly or Abelio was going to get through. So, I mean, Molly and Abelio happened to get through, but either he would have gotten glanced on, potentially gotten glanced on with a few of those like multi-hit skills, right? Like Shimate's second hit is a multi-hit, multiple targets, right? Or the Ethna is like a lot of multi-hits, right? So chances to glance on those, and also chance for Abelio to cut in. So either he was going to get glanced on, or Abelio cuts in and heals everything up if they do like a little bit of damage with a few different units versus getting one-shotted. Abelio's really nice against things that do multiple DPS units that are supposed to be moving like right after each other that do a little bit of damage versus just like a one unit that just like completely destroys everything. Like the Lucian Lucian would have been an issue. That's why he banned the Lucian, right? I mean, Lucian could have still, Molly's passive could have still activated against that. But anyway, let's take a look at the next matches now. Fire Striker and some other stuff. So this next one, Mo Long first pick. A lot of people are using Mo Long first pick this season. He brings in the Light Frankenstein. I was surprised to see the Light Frankenstein. The Light Onimusha, the Light Kaki. I always like to say the Light Kaki. Or I always like to call them Kakis in general. Really OP, really OP. Cannot crit and cannot get crit on, right? Dark Twister, heal everything up. Let's see what this, and then he does the AoE there, right? Let's see what this guy does. He just got multi-hits, right? Multi-hits, multi-hits. I'm actually surprised that the enemy took those picks. He kind of went all in on the Garrow and the Leica being counters to the HP-based one-shot damage, right? Because it's counter to Mo Long. Although Mo Long still multi-hits with skill 1 and skill 2. So Leica and Garrow are not necessarily counters to Mo Long. They're just counters to Mo Long's skill 3. Counters to Akari's, but yeah. So here's another one you really don't see too much, right? You see the Ciara and Ganymede here now. There's no strips on this team aside from the Daphnis, and then they bring in the Kaki here, right? There's still, Daphnis is the only strip here. Lets the Veligil through. He's just going to kill the Veligil with the Daphnis though, right? So there we go. Usually you don't see Miho anymore. And usually you don't see Daphnis anymore either, right? Because Daphnis is very weak to, like, for example, Swift Barbara. Daphnis is weak to Mina. That's the real reason you haven't seen Daphnis in a while, is because Mina was just countering it, and then Barbara was countering it as well. Daphnis' base speed is very low, and Mina's base speed, Mina could just obliterate a Daphnis, right? So, again, usually you don't see a Miho being picked. Oh, battery exhaust. Usually you don't see a Miho being picked. The Kaki's a counter to the Miho. The Kaki's also a counter to the Kinky. Kinky can't get crit on, but Kaki doesn't crit anyway. So Kaki's actually does enough damage without critting that's a counter to Kinky. Also, CR is a counter to Kinky. Mo Long's a counter to Kinky. Those are some kind of Kinky counter things. I have no idea how I got through 2 batteries so far today. So the first few picks looked like it was something we would see like a year or two ago. Like, we were always seeing Mo Long, Ciara, Oki, first few picks. Always, always, always. I mean, Fire Striker, Light Onimusha, Water Joker, we were not seeing a year or two ago, right? That's very much a this season kind of thing. But bans out the Lulu. Of all the things that he could have banned out, he banned out the Lulu. Because Lulu's a very strong counter to what he was trying to do. He was trying to CC everything. He was trying to do a lot of bombs. Lulu would have countered all of that, right? Gets some stuns over there with Kinky's skill 2. Kinky is a lot of times built on Despair. Since he revenges so much, he's a lot of time built on Despair to be pretty nasty. And he just heals because that's in his skill set. So this is not looking great. The enemy is at almost full HP, and he is kind of CC'd in a really bad spot, right? So what happens here? He's got a defense break on 2 units. It's a Ghost Slash over there. Kinky's at full HP, but he's got a bomb and a stun on him. And usually Kinky's built with a decent amount of resistance too. So he's taking a lot of debuffs considering that he's probably high resistance. So the Feng Yan is like just hanging on by a thread. But you see that they're picking some units. They're maybe not the key meta units that everyone's thinking like, oh my god, this is an amazing meta unit. I got to get the Water Striker. I got to get the Fire Art Master. I got to get these units. I got to get LD5s. It's like, no, they're picking like Feng Yan, Lulu. Like, these are not units that you generally think of like, I need to hunt summoning stones for these specific units to be good at RTA. Picking Lulu, he's picking Fire Striker. He just knows what units to pick to counter certain things. Also, I feel like he kind of got a little bit luckier towards the end that he actually came back. He was in a bad spot, and these units are kind of nasty. Potential solo units, like the Feng Yan is a potential solo unit. The Kinky is a potential solo unit. The Fire Striker is a potential, like, units that could potentially solo teams. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The bombs were strong against them, but the bombs didn't completely take them out. They had enough HP to survive through that. Even though they took a lot of the debuffs, they didn't really resist too much either, which I was kind of expecting a little bit more resist as well. Next match, he decides to just go for Kinky and El Sharion. Again, this is the same person. They didn't. It's not a different person. He just went for Kinky Elsharion first. Kinky Elsharion first. I wonder if that's going to be a... I was going to say, I wonder if that's going to be a double revenge will Elsharion. So Elsharion gets trapped because he doesn't want to deal with that Elsharion. And there's a lot of counters. Counter, 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 counter. Let's see this. This is going to be fun. We're going to see counters like crazy. Everything is countering. He does get bombed twice, though. Does Vertiheal? Well, Vertiheal's really not going to do too much there. Vertiheal's going to die in a second. But that's that, right? So he counters again, but he dies. Is this going to survive? It does not. Actually, that Elsharion's going to be pretty nice when he gets his immunity and invincibility. Just kidding. He's not going to be pretty nice. Okay, so he goes slash again against him. But now the immunity and invincibility is just one turn, right? So he's going to... Oh, I actually expected him to go for the Fire Art Master next, since he already had a defense break on him, and the Water Joker wasn't too much of a threat. But he just decided to go for the Bomber next. I don't think he had his bombs just yet anyway. But yeah, it's a little bit odd to see... Kinky's a great unit. It's just a little bit odd to see Kinky first pick, and then an Elsharion, which looked... I would imagine that he was on double revenge will for that Elsharion. This guy is just not afraid to pick whatever, whenever. So Feng Yan, Leo, first and second picks. Opponents double LD5s, double Art Masters. He picks the Molong last. I would have gone the opposite direction. I would have gone the Molong first, and then maybe a Kinky, and then that's just not what I would have expected. So he strips all of that stuff. He didn't get the defense break onto the Fire Striker. Completely nukes the Daphnis. Again, we're seeing Daphnis today. Usually we don't see too much Daphnis this season, but we're seeing Daphnis today. Kills the Leo. Reckless Assault into the Nikki, right? He does not get a proc into that. I thought that maybe he might go for the Nikki first. It's a lot of counters. There's a lot of counters. Okay, I thought he was going to go for the Nikki first, actually, in terms of like trying to kill her. So now it's just a matter of, okay, so that did actually kill the Nikki. Now it's just a matter of, is this Feng Yan going to take out this Ragdoll? Is the real question. Because he's still... The Torrent is just brutal. But he gets another turn before the Ragdoll gets a turn. I mean, that could have very much easily gone the other way, right? That could have easily gone the other way. And I'm surprised that he actually got away with that, picking Leo and Feng Yan first. How often do you see Leo Feng Yan first, who picks in Guardian, and that not getting just massively punished? But it was cool to see the Fire Striker resist the Daphnis, come and counter the Daphnis, go skill 2 into a skill 1, and just nuke the Daphnis so the shield didn't, like, he just did enough damage. Well, again, there's no defense break, so the Daphnis shield was actually pretty weak because he didn't do that much damage. But usually you don't see something like that happen, and usually you see Feng Yan Leo get super punished if that's the first two picks. Usually you see they get super punished. This is a little bit more of what I was expecting to see for the last one, is like a Kinky Molong first and second picks. That's kind of, and then they double immunity, right? The Nat 5 immunity doesn't get banned, the Nat 2 immunity gets banned. Okay, and then we see a Tyrannus, and we see a Vertiheal first pick. It's kind of wacky to see some of these things in the specifically the turn order that they're actually picked in. Does not actually kill anything. Okay. Yeah, so he goes for the skill 3 on himself. So then he cleanses. Dragon's Dance, he doesn't strip. Okay, so now he's just gonna do a little chip damage, right? He's going to do chip damage. He's got some decent damage that he could do. Any AoE that he does... Well, he doesn't have any AoEs. Never mind. I was going to say, any AoE that he does, the Kinky's going to, get activated, but he doesn't have any AoEs. So, Kinky could eventually solo. Maybe. Right? Goes for... He does not get an additional turn after that. Does he get... Well, I was going to say, does he Violent proc with the Kinky? Kinky's usually not on Violent runes. Kinky's usually on Despair runes, as we mentioned earlier. He doesn't have the skill 3 from the Tyrannus. Usually you don't see too many Tyrannuses nowadays, just because they're controlled so easily with the Art Masters, and also... I mean, even the segments, right? I feel like anytime I would try to use a Tyrannus at some point... I think it was actually... Was it the end of 2 seasons ago, or was it the beginning of last season? Like, anytime I would try to use a Tyrannus, it would get segmented. Like, people would just... For whatever reason, I was finding the only people that were actually using segment. Not everyone uses that, but yeah, they were definitely... Segment is very strong into Tyrannus. So they're just easy picking Sekhmet into that. But I mean, there's other things. Any cooldown resets are strong into Tyrannus. He was good for a while, but every season things, based on balance patches and what new units are introduced, things can go a different way, right? So he's hoping that the immunity will keep the Tessarion. I mean, that's what immunity does. Keeps the Tessarion from oblivioning the Kinky and then doing just a bunch of damage after that, right? So we can. So that's basically all it is right now. Dark Recovery into Tessarion, and then it's just going to be, it's easy after that, right? Because the Dark Druid is good against CC, but he's not, and he does a decent amount of damage to Dark Druid. A lot of people use him as a bruiser, but he's just really good against CC. He's not necessarily good against cleave kind of things. So you usually don't see too many Tyrannus and Paters this season. G2 player as well, but yeah, kind of some wacky matches we're seeing today. So that's it for the RTA. Mostly I just wanted to show you some nice turn 2 bruiser style teams with like the Wind Sniper and the Fire Striker and different things that you normally wouldn't expect. The Light Frankenstein I honestly wasn't expecting. I guess they just brought in there like, with the Garrow and the Leica, let me bring in a Light Frankenstein. Why not? So there's an unexpected pick. But when are we ever going to see a Light Frankenstein in RTA next? Unless people are going to do it now just for the memes. But anyway, that's it for this one. We do have some summons. I just wanted to give you guys some ideas for things that you can use if you don't have super crazy fast runes and you don't have like all the speed leads and all the crazy units to go fast and aggressive, like Fire Art Master is very popular, Water Ryu is very popular, Shongpung, Savannah, things like that. If you can't go fast and aggressive, here are some options for slower teams that do need, like, number 1, will runes, number 2, HP leads, rune quality, passives, but that can be effective in actually getting you to climb up the ranks. But anyway, we are here also on the beginner's grind. Do I need a logo? Beginner's grind. We do have a couple summons. I didn't want to do a whole beginner's grind video. We don't really need to do a whole beginner's grind video for a couple summons. Watch their insane summons, guys. And I'll be like, oh, you missed the summon. Go watch this other video of RTA stuff to see the summons. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. And then we had these summons at the end because we have them. May as well stick them on video. Right? See what we get. For all the people that don't like RTA videos. I mean, you still get a chance to learn some stuff though, right? Some of the nice turn 2 bruiser style units. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of balance patch we get soon. Everyone's hyped about this. Everyone's hyped about this balance patch. I think it's possibly because they're bored with the units currently and they're like, we didn't get a good balance patch the last time. We kind of got a crappy balance patch the last time. So we're really hoping for a nice, good balance patch this time. I don't know if we're actually going to get it, but we're hoping for one. We're hoping for one. Okay. Do we get, can we do an LD? Hooray. Actually, we can. Wait a second. We can do an LD, can't we? Oh my God. We can. Let's go, guys. Let's go. All right. Oh, wait. We can also do another summon. Yeah, we just pick something else up. May as well get one of these. There we go. Okay. We dropped. Oh, no, they don't go here. We dropped from Fighter... whatever. We just happened to get to Fighter 2. It's not that we were specifically aiming for Fighter 2 or whatever. Do we have any of these? Do we need any of these units? Why not? Let's just do them anyway. I don't think we need any specific units. We just want to see some shiny things pop out. So we got 2 LDs. Let's get something useful. LD Lightning. Wait a second. Let's get something useful. LD Lightning. Oh, the worst LD in the game. Wonderful. Very exciting. Very exciting. Light Lizard Man, about the same usefulness as the Dark Gargoyle. Well, there we go. We basically got nothing. GG. The Fire String Master is the most useful thing that we got. Wait. Yeah, the Fire String Master is like the most useful thing that we got out of the whole thing, isn't it? This guy too. Yeah, this is nothing. We'll lock him, but I'm not entirely sure why we're going to lock him. Anyway, that's it for this one. Oh, God. Good thing. Yeah, see, this is why we don't need to do a whole video taking a look at whatever we summoned from that. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you as always in the next one.